Hi everybody! Welcome back to another Spike Egg adventure. So glad you can tune in with us. It's been a while since our last video update, and during that time there's been a few changes. I actually sold my Fiesta ST, and addressing the elephants in the room, we actually got two new cars. So the E36 M3 for Tommy and the MR2 Spyder for me. In this video, I wanted to formally introduce these two cars to you guys. You'll be seeing them much more on our channel. As far as Tommy's E36, it'll be going through kind of like a restoration phase. It's a pretty high mileage car, so he's going to be doing some maintenance as well as some OEM plus mods on the car. As far as my MRS, it's going to be sharing some track time with my Miata. It's going to be undergoing some track related mods, although I'm going to be keeping it pretty stock. You'll see my MRS in some future track videos as well, so stay tuned for that. Without further ado, I want to go ahead and have each of us introduce the car to you guys a little bit.
This is my 2002 MR2 Spyder.
Originally, I have the Miata. I had the Fiesta ST, and then I ended up buying this car to be the third car. But somewhere along the way, I just found myself not having much use for the Fiesta since I don't really commute all that much now. So I ended up selling the Fiesta, and this has kind of essentially become the daily car as well. The original intention for this car is to serve as a half track, half daily car. After I purchased this car, I automatically bought a hard dog roll bar since I knew I was going to be taking it to the track, and I obviously safety's number one. So we've already done that mod, and we will be having a video on that right after this one, so stay tuned if you're interested in checking out the roll bar install for the MRS. I will not be modifying this car that much in terms of cosmetic and essentially everything that you can see on the car. If there are modifications, which there will be, it will most likely just have to do with tires, brakes, which I do have some like better street / dual duty pads on the car right now, and then as well as maybe like some cooling mods, things like that, stuff that's under the hood or under the underneath the car essentially. So when I purchased this car, I purchased it at 65,000 miles. It was a super clean car inside and out. I personally didn't really like red cars, but when I saw it in person for the first time, I just fell in love with how sharp the red was against the black interior. It was just so spotlessly clean that I automatically like just really wanted it. So I've always wanted an MRS. I kind of felt like the MRS was a next level up from the Miata that I own. Although I haven't yet fully mastered driving the NV Miata, the Miata for me started becoming a little bit more unreliable as the mileage starts going higher, and I found myself not being able to track as often because the car was not ready for track. And so I kind of just thought I needed a second track car, to one that is a little bit more reliable, maybe newer, something that I didn't really have to spend too much time and money getting it ready for the track, something from factory that already drives pretty well without any modifications aside from like your typical tires and brakes. After driving the car for 2 months now on the street, I've noticed how much I like the handling characteristic of the MRS. I think in a way it's kind of similar to the Miata that I have. This is also a 1.8, and so the way the motor kind of feels and how slow the car can be, all those characteristics are very familiar to me, so I don't particularly feel like this car, stock motor and stock power, is particularly slow because I'm coming from like kind of the same background, right, with a slow Miata as well, and I'm okay with that. The thing that I think I really like from this car that's kind of special is the way that it drives. I think this car has a tendency to turn really easily. When it's in a turn, it wants to continue to turn. I've noticed that, and I think that will be really fun for me to experiment and learn on the track. Cosmetic wise, I know a lot of people don't like the MRS, and I tend to always have kind of the 180 opinions of what most people tend to have when it comes to enthusiast cars. I really love how the MRS looks actually. I love how big the headlights look. I love how big the tail lights look. Like, I just think it just looks good. People think it looks like a frog, and I think that's completely endearing. I don't know why that's such a negative thing. But yeah, I don't really plan on modifying it, like in terms of adding any type of body kit or bumpers or anything like that, because I think it looks great already as is.
So, this is my 1997 E36 M3. This is the car that I have always wanted in this particular color and the interior combo. Actually, I had a silver one. It's a silver coupe that I had a few years back, but unfortunately that was not the best example, and that car had some issues here and there, and at that time I really didn't know anything about like how to fix cars and stuff, so in the end I had to like sell it. But a few years later, I saw this one that popped up on Marketplace, and I really like this blue color on coupe, and I really also like the dolphin gray leather interior. I always thought this color combo was super classy. When I saw this car for sale, I like that it's pretty original. It does have some lowering springs, like has a sub. This car has about 192,000 miles on it. So far, I have owned this car for about 2 to 3 months now. I have fixed things here and there, like replacing all the fluids, like the transmission fluid, oil, and also the differential fluid. The next project that I'm gonna be working on will be replacing the cooling expansion tank, because I noticed that it's been leaking through the bleeder screw. So I'm gonna get that replaced, and this car should be pretty reliable after that. So this car, I'm not really planning to track it or anything like that. This is just a car that like I'm gonna own and just drive it like here and there, and just like a fun weekend car. I don't have any plans to track it because the track car is still gonna be the NC, and the R6 I'm still gonna keep as a daily. I have always thought like out of all the M3s, the E36 looks the best, and it looks the most like classy. I think the E30 M3, it's like it's so high in value that it's not really obtainable, and the E46 is a little too big for me. So like I've always just really liked the E36, but it's like the style, the rawness, and just the motor.
We hope you like the introduction of our cars. You'll be seeing them much more in our future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Spy Adventures. Bye!